So if the fee was right, if the wages was right, would you have Phil Coutinho back? Because it's come back again today. Because Barcelona, obviously, there's all the messy stuff. There's the mess of their finances. And it's the link that won't go away. And I know people will go, fucking hell, you've talked about that loads, but Phil Coutinho signing before the end of August, coming back or not.
You stitch me right up here, haven't you? Going to be first on this. You know what? I've always been in the camp of I'd have took him back, because I think it's easy to forget just how good he was. He was a brilliant footballer. I suppose it's whether some people can get past how he left. I understand why that would piss you off, because the whole back injury thing, I mean,
the stuff on Sky, it's hard to get over.
It's hard to get over that.
Yeah.
If you can take the emotion out of it and just look at it as, is he a good footballer? Yes, he is. He's just turned 29, so it's not an ideal age. But if you're saying to me, which is what you did, him or no one, fucking right, I'm taking him over no one. Because we might still do business, but the closer it gets to the end of August, you are starting to question whether Liverpool will pull the trigger and whether they're prepared to go into the season with what they've just got. I'd be worried about that, Robbo. I think they're at least one, if not two, light in certain areas. You could argue Coutinho can do a bit of both, so we can operate in that midfield area, which obviously he's done before, but he can also play as part of the front three as well. So in terms of a footballer, he's as flexible as you're going to get, really. And we know he's got loads of ability. He's had a really poor time at Barcelona. I mean, I've not seen bits, but you wonder where he is mentally, you know, in terms of himself, because it couldn't have gone any worse, could it, really? I mean, he must have thought he was going there, he was going to tear it up. It almost seemed like it was going to be the perfect opportunity for him. And it's fell to absolute bits, to the point where he's just been disregarded. By all accounts, they just want him off the club. Some of the wage kind of bills that you see flying around for Barcelona are insane. And if his wage is to be believed, I mean, he'd have to come down massively for Liverpool. But listen, if you can make the numbers work, I could see a scenario where lots of people could get behind it. But that way he left, I think that will still upset one or two.
It's mad that, you know, it's like his transfer to Barca is still like the third biggest transfer in football history. You know, I think it's Neymar, then it's Mbappe, and then I think it's Coutinho after that, isn't it? It's certainly top five, if not top three. And he's fell off a cliff. You know, he's obviously been hawked around Europe for some time now. Like, could you see it happening in some way? Because, you know, his sights will lower, his agent's sights will lower, and perhaps Liverpool can say to him, well, we'd maybe have you back, but it'd be a highly incentivised contract. It wouldn't be a big top line. It'd be nothing like you were on at Barca. But you think he might, you know, it would mean he could get a nice hug off Firmino. You know, do you think it'd interest him or Liverpool, or do you think it's just paper talk?
I just can't see it. I think there's two questions I'd ask myself when I think about it. One, did Liverpool get better after he left? And I think it's fair to say we did. I think he was an incredible player, but he was the type of player that kind of plays in a certain way. You've got to build a team around them. And Klopp likes signing midfielders who can play all over the gaff. I think we know that, and he just likes that versatility. And since he left, we kicked on, didn't we? We've got better and better, so we don't need him. And then the second question is, has he got better since we let him go? I know it's been unfortunate circumstances, but he hasn't set anything alight. His confidence is absolutely shot. So it's like we'd just be taken aback for the sentiment of it. Like, he left in a bit of a snide way. I'm kind of over that now anyway, but it's more like, I don't think we need them. Like, if you got him, they're cheap, which again, I just can't see it happening with the finances around him already. And his wages, which again, I can't see happening. Also, what is he, 29?
He's 29.
That just doesn't really go with our transfer policy. Like, Thiago was a bit of an exception. I think Klopp had to really push that one through. So you're looking at it thinking, just doesn't really tick any box for Liverpool from my side.
So anyway. That's a no.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it depends. I guess there's two questions. Would we have him back, and would he come back? You mean, you look at the clubs he's kind of been linked to in all the paper talk and stuff like that since, you know, Barcelona have come across some financial issues themselves. And I mean, it's small clubs. Everton have been linked to him. It's not, you know, he's obviously willing to take it. He's willing to.
Straight in there, yeah.
He's obviously willing to take some sort of downgrade. He has to if he wants to leave Barcelona and if he wants to play, because maybe, you know, like you say, 29, he might want a bit of a revival in his career because he's sort of fallen off it at Barcelona. I mean, you see the odd clip. You remember that game when he was on loan at Bayern, they played Barca in the Champions League, and he had a quality game there. He put a couple of goals. I mean, the one, what was it, 7-2? It's some ridiculous score like that. But, you know, he had a good game there. You see the odd, you know, classic Coutinho moment where he'll curl one in. You think he's obviously still got it in him. But like we've said, there's some people have got over it, and then some people would probably take, you know, a little bit of time to still forgive him if he came back. If he came back, he might have to put in a few of those, you know, Coutinho performances that we saw back in the day to kind of get everyone over the line. But yeah, I mean,
footy's just so fickle, isn't it?
Yeah,
I reckon if we did come back, even myself, like everyone would be over it within like a week or two. But do you think a loan? Would anyone think about a loan for the season?
I mean, I'd be into it like a loan. I mean, at the end of the day,
if Benitez can go to fucking Everton, Coutinho can come back to Liverpool.
Don't get me to start on that, by the way. But no, if you could do a loan, and listen, you know, the way they are, Barcelona now, their finances are at such a bad level. They may consider anything. So,
yeah,
you know,
that's what I'm thinking.
You know, I said something today. You know, there's a lot of players at Barcelona who I think clubs will start circling now. Pedri, you saw him in the Euros,
Brilliant.
one hell of a footballer, 18 years of age.
Go,
They probably won't let him go, but I tell you what, if you're a big club, I'd be asking the fucking question.
Yeah.
I'd be trying to see whether you could get him out of the club. Like you said, you won't want to let him go because they're pinning their hopes on him. But they are a mess. And there's such a mess where, you know, maybe one or two footballers don't want to stick around at Barcelona for the kind of short term. So, but Coutinho on loan, I mean, if you could get him back to anywhere near the levels that he was demonstrating for us before he did threw his toys off the pram thing, you have got a one hell of a football on your hands still.
All right, the Reds, thanks for watching a little bit of a premium Anfield Wrap video there. If you want to watch the rest of that show and get access to much more, click join below. That activates our YouTube membership. It means you get a premium video every day of the week. You get our post-match content, you get reviews, previews and exclusive interviews, all here from the heart of Liverpool. Follow us, follow them. Up the Reds.